Yo, so do you get stuck trying to come up with new ideas, new creative ideas for your beats, all right? People call it beat block. This used to happen to me all the time. I'd sit down at Maschine trying to come up with something quickly, trying to find creative inspiration, and after 10 or 15 minutes, I'd started a whole bunch of beat ideas, erased them, started again, erased them, and I ended up with nothing. After 15 or 20 minutes, I couldn't find anything that was catchy, anything that was sort of a good foundation to build a beat around. That was until I developed a really simple technique for me to basically eliminate beat block and have it be a non-issue, to instantly come up with very creative ideas for my beats musically, especially for the drums element, and essentially have a really great starting point every single time I wanted to make a beat. This technique basically allows me to really quickly come up with really great ideas for drum grooves to lay as the foundation for my beat and then build the beat further after that. The benefit of this is that anytime that I want to create a beat, I can instantly come up with the drum groove that serves as the right vibe and the right energy that I need to carry on the rest of my production. It lays that foundation, like I said, as a great starting point to any beat that you build. My name is Rob. I am the creator of the Gold Pack, which is a package of information that has everything that you need. It's video lessons, drum samples, break beats, and much more to give you and teach you everything that you need in order to make great, authentic, golden era 90s style hip hop. Talking like Pete Rock, J Dilla, DJ Premier, Ninth Wonder style sample-based hip hop beats using your machine, alright? We're going to talk about that more at the end of this video. Just know if you want it, you can grab it in the link below. But for now, let's jump over to Maschine and let me show you this technique for eliminating beat block and coming up with fresh, creative ideas for your music instantly, alright? Let's jump on over to Maschine.
All right. So let's get down to it. The first step in this entire process is to construct a really great freaking drum kit, all right? Drums are the foundation of your entire beat. It's not only important just to get the drum pattern right and the groove and the timing of the pattern right, but also the timbre and the tone of the sounds combined together. The interestingness, if that's a word, of the sounds combined with the good groove makes a great foundation for a beat, all right? So before you get into this process that I'm going to teach you, I need you to first construct a good-ass drum kit, all right? First things first, get that nice kick, a snare, a hi-hat, etc. Put them all on pads in your machine. Find some good sounds. If you don't already have good sounds, I've got two options for you. I've got my Trap Pack, which is a collection of more trap 808 style analog sounds, and I've got my Gold Pack, which has a collection of not only drum breaks and stuff, but also drum sounds that are more along the lines of sounds ripped from vinyl records and things like that. All right, so if you don't have them already, quit being cheap. They're just $1. If you don't have, or if you do have your sounds already, start loading up your drum kit. Assemble unique sounding sounds, all right? Harmonically, you want these sounds to mesh together. You want them to be unique, all right? And I'm going to show you what sounds I've loaded up so far, all right? I've got a pretty thick kick here, and this is just something that I've layered together. I've layered a sub-kick drum. Watch my layering video to learn more about this technique. I've layered a stock sub-kick drum from Maschine Drum Synths with a analog sound that is in my my Trap Pack library. So layered together, this is what they sound like. And also at the same time, I've got this hi-hat from this Gold Pack layered on top of the kick drum. So I've used pad mode on Maschine, all right, to set up a master and slave relationship, so that each time I press this kick drum, not only the 808 or the kick drum sub kick from the drum synth library triggers, but also the hi-hat at the same time at different volume levels, and that works to create a really thick sound. I've got that, got a hi-hat, a clap from a snare, another clap, a few sub-bass 808 sounds, but that's essentially what I'm working with, all right? So let's move on to step 2. Once you have a good drum kit composed of great sounds, you need to do the next step in this process. And the next step in this process is to find some inspiration. I read this book. It's called Great Artist Steal, okay? And by steal, I do not mean copy someone else's work wholesale. You don't want to go out there and take Metro Boomin's drum sounds, combine it with the same way he takes his hi-hats, combine that with the same Nexus VST he uses, and layering and use the same sort of sounds. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about get creative inspiration from the music that you listen to. And specifically in this context, I'm listening for unique drum patterns from the music that I like to serve as my creative inspiration, okay? So it's just about finding something interesting to listen to. And in this case, I've already found a song. But the way that I find my inspiration typically is I have an entire playlist on my phone on Spotify that's typically queued up. I'm listening to it all the time. And in this playlist, like I said, there's probably about 100 songs that I really, really dig the production on. All right, that have the vibe and the energy that I really am gelling with right now. It's the summertime right now. I like more upbeat, bright, airy, up tempo type stuff. So that's what's on this playlist. And essentially, what I do is I listen to the playlist, try to catch a groove, find something that sparks an energy and an interest in me, something that I find interesting, and then recreate that drum pattern using my own sounds on Maschine. All right. So in this case, what I have found for inspiration is a song whose energy I really love and really dig, and a producer that I really, really respect and admire, which is Pharrell. This tune is called "Let's Get Blown." It's by Pharrell and Snoop Dogg. I'm not going to play it just because of copyright issues, obviously, but you can go listen to the song to see how closely it matches, all right? So what I'm saying is find creative inspiration. And I'm going to check out, it has a really interesting kick and snare pattern going on, a lot of interesting stuff, really simple groove, but it's put together very nicely, all right? And I'm basically have recreated that drum pattern in Maschine, all right? Let me let you listen to it right here. That's the third step, is to copy the pattern. I've already done that. I'm not going to let you listen to it, but basically it goes like this. So kind of simple. It's got a unique bouncing groove and feel, and I have replicated that inside of Maschine, all right? So let you listen to what I have come up with once I've, on step 3, copied the drum pattern, right? All right, so what I did in order to copy this pattern is I counted off the BPM in Maschine, listened to the beat, tap tempo along with the beat that I was listening to. I loaded up my drum kit that I created in step 1, and then I recreated the pattern off of that, just tapped it in on Maschine's pads. And that's it, all right? That's your creative inspiration, your basis for the entire beat. So the point is not to copy exactly how Pharrell produced this song. That's not the point at all. I don't want to recreate this song and use the same exact elements. What I do now is I'm going to build this drum pattern further with my own sort of influence and then add more to the beat. I'm not going to do the entire thing right now just because I want to keep this as short as possible to get my point across, but let me load up something electric. Let's see. I think this is probably a good one. And I'm gonna build out this drum pattern a little bit more than what I already have, and then yeah, get to it.
All right, so as you can see, that's the basis of this technique. It's all about finding inspiration within the music that you listen to and sort of recreating that vibe and that energy using the drum pattern and using that as a starting point, not as a, you're not stenciling over and trying to trace and redo what they've done. You're just using it as a starting point to sort of get the groove going and get your creative juices flowing. All right. Typically, once by the time that I've come up with, a sort of drum pattern using this creative inspiration template, I typically will find another pattern within my head that is similar in the same energy, but not exactly the same at all. And typically that does the job, right? So you don't have to try to copy the exact pattern, the drum pattern of the kick and the snare if you don't want to. It can even just be a source of energy for you to sort of get your inspiration flowing and your vibe and your energy going for you to move forward in that direction, in that vein, not necessarily through copying the pattern, okay? It's really just that simple. If you are the type of person that wants to learn more about making these types of beats on Maschine, if you have been following me for a while, you dig my vibe, you understand where I'm coming from in terms of this music stuff, you enjoy, my technique and the way that I explain things, I've got something awesome and interesting for you, okay? Obviously, a lot of us are hip-hop heads. That's the reason why we bought Maschine, all right? We could have used Ableton, we could have used Logic, something a lot easier to make music, but we enjoy sample-style hip-hop. That Ninth Wonder, Jay Dilla style, chop, sample, flip, that neo-soul vibe, And that's what Maschine Platform is about. I've got something special for you today if you fit that description. I've put together a package that basically breaks down the entire process of making those classic golden era 90s style hip-hop beats on Maschine. And this package is called the Gold Pack, all right? Not only does this Gold Pack package give you the step-by-step video instructional lessons teaching you exactly how to make authentic hip-hop on Maschine, there are over 2.5 hours full of instruction that'll teach you things like how to sample using your Maschine, how to sample off of YouTube, how to chop up samples in Maschine, how to flip drum breaks, how to find creative inspiration for your bass lines, a whole bunch of great stuff inside of there. Not only do I give you the instructional video lessons, but I'm also hooking you up with soulful samples for you to chop and flip, great samples, all right, a drum library, and Maschine project files for you to follow along with me. The retail value of this gold package is $49, all right, $49. Even at that price, though, if you consider that with the knowledge and the information that you learn from here, if you only sell one beat based upon the information that you learn from this package for $50 on the internet, the package will already pay for itself, all right? However, today I'm running a very special deal for the members of my audience. And I'm basically giving you this copy of this gold pack for literally just $1. No catch, no strings attached, nothing like that. Literally $1. All you got to do is click the link below. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description to get your copy of the gold pack for $1. If you're watching this on the blog, you are going to click the link in the blog article below, and you're going to land upon a page that looks like this. That'll explain more about what you're going to learn inside. You press this big gold button that says, yes, send me my $1 copy. Like I said, literally $1 into your name and your payment information, and you can get up and running with this gold pack. All of the sounds, all of the Maschine project files, all of the video lessons and the samples will be yours for just $1, and you can have it in 5 minutes, all right? So feel free to grab yourself a copy. Again, my name is Rob. I have a lot of great stuff coming out in the future, all right? So I want you to subscribe to this channel to continue to get the intermediate and advanced techniques on Maschine. None of this beginner shit that a lot of other people are teaching. I'm teaching in-depth knowledge and wisdom about Maschine and the entire beat making and audio engineering process, all right? Breaking down everything along the way. You'll follow me along my journey of becoming a better producer, man. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to serve as your mentor. So click that subscribe. Follow me, man. I am about this life, all right? Fuck with me, all right? I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.